in the resurrection. Okay. Two things, and we're almost done. The first thing we got to understand is that Martha was not a worshiper. She was a worker. Mary was a worshiper that found herself at the feet of Jesus. Workers and worshipers sometimes respond differently. Okay. Martha was the church member that went to church. She worked in the church, but she never had a relationship with the God of the church. Okay. Mary worked, but she also mastered worship. So that when the storm came, Martha and Mary's response, they went through the same storm, but they responded differently. I'm glad you're there. Because the truth of the matter is, how you respond to your storm is the relationship you got. You leave me right there, I'm good. It's how you respond when you're going through. It's how you live before you go through. Watch the text real carefully right there. Martha's response is different than Mary because Mary has forged a relationship. And Jesus says, you believe in the resurrection? He says, baby, you know me, but you don't really know me. He says, I am the resurrection and the life. She said, but Lord, I'm going to see him again, but later. See, there are Pharisees and Sadducees. Some believe in resurrection and others did not believe in resurrection. So he dissects to her. She's on the fence of believing. So we've got Martha that is pharisaical and one that is sadduceical. One that believes in the resurrection and others that don't. Don't you understand? There are people that can follow you and still not believe in you. Look at somebody and say, everybody on my team really don't have my back. Look at somebody and say, everybody you tell your business to ain't down for you like 4 flat tires. They talk the talk, but everybody ain't walking the walk. So Mary says to him, Lord, I believe in the resurrection. Now he says to her, I am the resurrection. Look at somebody and tell your neighbor, I ain't finna preach too hard, but look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, say, what you're looking for, I am he. I'm trying to tell somebody, you trying to figure out, you trying to get happy. Your happiness is not in folks, but it's in God. He says, I've been here with you. Your change you've been looking for. You thought it was when you got back to FCJ and got you another degree. He says, I am your change. Some of you thought your come up was if you got tall, dark, and handsome and found out he was on the DL. You got to get somebody that'll love you better than anything in your life. You got sanctified Susie because she was in the church house and found out she was the church household. You need somebody that'll make you better than anything else in your life. Slap your neighbor real quick, high five him and tell your neighbor, say, what you're looking for, it's in God.
Yes, sir. Push it. Yes, sir. Oh, you're walking heavy, Bishop. Yes, sir.
The challenge in life.
Yeah. Setting it off up in here.
He says to her, he said, girl, he said, I'm the one you're looking for.
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to preach this like I feel it because the truth of the matter is that sometimes we're looking at everything else other than God. Yes, some of you think if you get a new car, it's the one you're looking for. I come to tell you, you can roam for a while, but if the payments come, you'll realize that's not the one you're looking for. You can get a bigger house all day long, but I tell you, when those payments start coming, $12.50 in gated communities every month, you'll find that's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for, child, is a relationship with God. I found out a long time ago that there's a hole in me, cut like God. I found out, Cash, that nothing can feel it but God. I found out, Jesse, that no matter what I did, I found out that I couldn't smoke enough weed. I couldn't run enough game. I couldn't mess with enough folks. I found out that I couldn't run enough games. I couldn't run enough hustles. I couldn't make enough money. There were days when I left meetings and I had so much money that I would just dump it on the bed.
Yes, sir.
I found out just because I had $20,000 or $30,000 and I was able to deposit and already had money, that still didn't make me happy.
Yes, sir.
See, I thought if I had a wad, it would make me. Some of you been there where you were rolling high. You had the Benz. You had the nice car. You had the bling bling, and you were still empty.
Yes, sir.
And what I was looking for wasn't in it. And he steps up and says, the next question he says, where did you lay Lazarus? The question that God asked you. Lazarus was a symbol of the thing that they loved that they lost. It was a symbol of the thing that they cared about that died. And so God asked you, the question is, where's the place you gave up? They were waiting on Jesus to come heal him all the way until they buried him. Look at someone and said, I was looking for God to come through all the way to JEA turned the lights off. I was looking for God to bring me out all the way to that. I believed him all 3 days until the eviction notice came. I believed God the whole time until the divorce was final. I believed him the whole time until I saw them walk out. They flicked the finger and said, I don't need you. I got a new hoe. I don't do you like that. I was okay all the way until I walked into the room and I saw somebody else in the bed. I was okay until I walked in the courtroom and the judge said 30 years. I was okay as long as my son had a chance. I believed that we could work the appeal, but when the Supreme Court, the Florida Supreme Court, the Circuit Court said, then I dropped my heart. I was okay as long as I had a piece of a job. But when that little piece of a job that I had let me go, that's when I lost my heart. I was okay as long as I had boo. We wasn't doing too good, but at least they had somebody to come home to every now and then. Once every few months. It's bad to be with somebody and still be celibate and lonely and have a cold bed at night. I was doing okay as long as they were there. If I had a piece of a man or a half of a woman, I was okay. She didn't cook and she didn't sleep well and she didn't do nothing else right, but at least she was there. I could see her in the shower every now and then and get a thrill. I was okay. I was okay as long as I had a piece of satisfaction, a piece of joy. But what happens when the little bit you got, when you see Lazarus, when you hear the great light keep